Number 10. Bullet ants. In the animal kingdom or insect kingdom, their names are usually spot on indicators on how far a distance you should keep between you. A bullet ant should receive the same treatment. This 1 to 2 inch long ant's sting feels agonizingly accurate to being shot. Technically, one bullet ant isn't going to kill you. This is the part where we clarify that insects are divided into two categories: the ones that can kill you and the ones that will make you wish you were dead. This is also the part where we introduce one scientist's quest to rank how painful an insect's sting is. Justin O. Schmidt created the Schmidt Pain Index in 1973. On the bullet ant, his exact words were that the sting felt like walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch rusty nail in your heel. Number 9. Fire ants. If a bullet ant makes you feel like you've been shot, then a fire ant. What's so alarming about fire ants is that they come in batches or colonies, to be technical. With a fiery temper, they're known to be dramatically aggressive. If you agitate them accidentally or on purpose, they can and will chase you down. Fire ants are called one of the top 10 threats to agriculture. How big of a threat can an ant really be? There have been incidents where fire ants somehow crept into hospitals' air conditioning vents and bit patients' IVs. Number 8. Kissing bugs. This here is a case of the name not being an adequate indicator of the insect's level of threat. Well, a kissing bug will kiss you, on the lips too, but it's a kiss of death. Kissing bugs have another name: vampire bugs. They're known to have an appetite for your blood and a tendency to get it by biting you repeatedly around the mouth. As painful as that is on its own, a real threat that kissing bugs bring is what's called Chagas disease. On average, this destructive disease kills over 12,000 people every year. After the initial kiss of death, you won't start to show symptoms until 4 to 8 weeks later. Then you'll die. 10 to 30 years later, your heart will stop. A slow and painful death because of a bug you didn't even notice bit you in your sleep. Number 7. Assassin caterpillar. The giant silkworm moth can kill you in two ways. There's the moth and then what it grows into, the assassin caterpillar. Size-wise, relatively large, you still wouldn't think that this moth or caterpillar is capable of much harm, especially considering its stunningly short lifespan, which is just a few weeks. The assassin caterpillar is a master of camouflage. You won't even see the danger, the hollow hairs on its body. They're so sharp they can puncture your skin and inject you full of venom. When is it deadly? When you're stung between 20 to 100 times. Number 6. Death stalker scorpion. Chances are that something called a death stalker isn't going to hand over flyers. The death stalker scorpion's brand of venom contains a fun, practically boiling mixture of neurotoxins. On their own, each neurotoxin can bring down a horde of elephants. That's a bit of hyperbole, but it will kill a human. Have no fear though, if you're a millionaire. There is an anti-venom, but a gallon of it costs around $39 million, give or take a few million. Number 5. The cow killer. We have another killer in our midst, the cow killer. Cow killer isn't its first name. It's actually called the velvet ant. It figures that the best defense is a good offense. The velvet ant has an arsenal of weapons at its disposal: warning sounds, the ability to run at alarming speeds, chemical secretion, and of course, venom. One is just an insect. A bunch is an army. When one is attacked or a cow accidentally steps on it, they make good use of a chemical signal in their gland. This is them sounding the alarm. The rest of the pack will come scattering. Our friend Schmidt from 1973 gave it a ranking of 3 out of 4, with 4 being the most painful. Number 4. Blister beetles. Cantharidin. That's the key word with blister beetles. They excrete it, and cantharidin, is a compound that can actually be used for wart removal. When it doesn't remove warts, it's just blindingly painful. Birds have been observed after accidentally eating a blister beetle having convulsions. Humanity has a strange relationship with the cantharidin compound. For the longest time, it's been thought of as an aphrodisiac. As a result, they ingested it, ultimately mutilating their digestive tract, as well as have atrocious dermatitis reactions. When they figured out that eating a blister beetle could kill them, they started licking them instead. Number 3. Brown recluse spider. What's that saying? Demons run when a good man goes to war?
Demons run when a good man goes to war.
If you ever see a brown recluse spider, if it deigns to come out of hiding for you, you better call a doctor right away. What can this spider bite do? It's definitely not radioactive, although that might be less severe than what it actually does. One bite can cause necrotic skin lesions. That means your skin will rot, like something straight out of a horror movie. How are you going to tell if it's a regular brown spider or the recluse kind? It's easy. Brown recluse spiders have 6 eyes instead of 8. Otherwise, they'll be invisible in the shade of trees, leaves, or under your porch. Number 2. Murder hornets. Is there anything worse than a hornet? A murder hornet. That can be good, right? Remember the craze in 2020 about the murder hornet re-emerging and people calling it the precursor to the end of the world? That's because murder hornets, which are actually called Asian giant hornets, are said to cause between 30 to 50 deaths a year in Japan alone. It's not the sting that's venomous per se, but the allergic anaphylactic reaction that follows. Believe it or not, murder hornets aren't particularly more toxic than other hornet species, even if they're bigger. But it's just that these wasps can inject more venom per sting. Even if you aren't allergic, more than one sting can prove to be fatal. Their stingers, too, are mean killing machines, able to penetrate even beekeeper costumes. They'll also attack in droves and by the colonies. Oh, and they enjoy slaughtering honeybees. They kill them by chewing off their heads first. Number 1. Houseflies and mosquitoes. Didn't expect these last ones, huh? We put them in together because of how shocking and common this is. That's right, your average mosquito actually kills more people than sharks, and lions, and bears, and fleas even. Every year, they rake up a kill count of over 700,000 people. Before you start to do more than harmlessly swat at mosquitoes whenever they start to buzz around your food or in your ear, know that it's not the mosquito itself that's venomous. It's what it carries. Mosquitoes can carry a litany of horrifying diseases: malaria, West Nile, Zika, dengue, yellow fever, and more. Mosquitoes may have a monopoly on a few diseases, but houseflies hoard at least 65 diseases. In fact, they can carry around 351 types of bacteria. Now, this bacteria can give you anything from stomach aches and pneumonia to typhoid fever, leprosy, tuberculosis, cholera, dysentery, poliomyelitis, tularemia, anthrax, and more.